a Manchester derby. United came from behind, beat City. But I don't think we can really delve into the performance without tackling the elephant in the room with that. Bruno's goal. What's Patrick? What is your take on this goal? Should this have been given as offside, or was it a clean goal in your opinion?
It should have been given as offside because when Rashford went to, like, everyone would have thought Rashford would have touched. Like, Rashford being in that position and being right next to the ball, it means the keeper doesn't know if he's going to hit it or not. Defenders don't know what's going to happen. So by the letter of the law, and just not even by the letter of the law, just any common sense, you can see he kind of interferes with the play. So I was shocked that they gave it. Crazy. I mean, in a way, it's kind of shaken up the apple cart, hasn't it? Everyone expected. No, that's a lie. We didn't expect Man City to win, but Man City going a goal up, you kind of thought, oh, this is going to be something that Man United are going to struggle to get back into the game. They didn't. They won. It makes things exciting. So from that perspective, it's good, but it's not fair, is it? It shouldn't have stood. And I understand why Man City fans are going crazy at the moment. Miles on the side.
What are you saying, Gal? Do you agree with that? Do you think it's a clear offside in your opinion?
The fact that it seems like he almost blocks Akanji from getting to the ball by basically just following the ball. He doesn't actually, even if he doesn't touch the ball, the sheer fact that he blocks Akanji from getting to the ball. Because if he's not there, Akanji is a step away from getting to the ball. The fact that he basically is walking around the ball, but he doesn't touch it, should be basically interference, in my opinion. But hey, I don't know how the rules are. I don't know how the rule makers.
I think it's the fact that he body feints a few times as well. As you see, like jinx left, jinx right, as if he's like.
I just thought he was slowing down. Have you ever seen like a 100-meter sprinter slow down? That's what they kind of do.
They jinx left and right. They body feint. They drop the shoulder. He dropped the shoulder a few times.
They can't just stop. Look, when you say interfering with play, Gal, like why? How does Rashford stop Akanji from running?
Because Akanji's physically behind him. He can't run through him and get to the ball. He's basically stopping the player from getting to the ball.
See, this is where I understand everyone's point, but this is where I disagree. If Akanji keeps running at full pelt to clear the ball and bangs into Rashford, Rashford's then offside because he interfered. Akanji stopped. Two things happening. Akanji stops running because he hasn't noticed Bruno. Akanji has to keep running towards the ball. He just goes, well, Rashford's offside, so I'm going to stop running. And suddenly Rashford stops running. Bruno comes through and scores. For me, it's a clean goal because of that. Akanji needs to. You can never assume in football.
But Terry, to counter that, wouldn't it be safe to say that Akanji's not going to run through him in the case that he's never 100% sure about the offside decision? So if he runs straight through him, causes a foul, then you're looking at a potential red card. Akanji, you can't really expect a player just being like, yeah, he's offside, let me run through him and take the risk.
But he knew he was offside. He thought he was offside. That's why he stopped running.
But again, you can't. It's not safe to say, let me go forward fully with the decision.
Do you know what it is, though? I don't think it's mad that I'm saying, but I don't think Akanji put any pressure on the ball. So he doesn't have to smash through him. But if he starts to like just try to put pressure on Rashford, I think he interferes with play there.
Or tries to get around him, something. Yeah, sorry.
There was a rule change. There was a rule change where we've seen it where offsides are let to run just in case. Obviously, VAR can review it afterwards and see whether it's offside or not. Even that, you allow the attacking players to have kind of the benefit of the doubt in attacking scenarios. Right over there, like Akanji just he bottled it essentially because he should have went and said, I'm still going to go and do my job regardless whether it's offside or not. We've seen it loads of times with offsides when balls played in behind and the defender still has to react only for 10 seconds later for it to be flagged offside by VAR. It don't look great, but I know that that's obviously what the the rule is at the moment. So you can't really argue it. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say fair, but you know.
Like my only thing on this is like this is one of those calls or the way the rule is written and the way it's played out on the pitch, and this was even said in Sky by whatever the little referee person was, subjective.
Hello?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Oh, okay. It's subjective, period. Like that's just what it is. Like on another day, a referee calls that back. Period. Like that's just what it is. And they said it multiple times. It's subjective, but we, you want to give it to the benefit of the attacker because we really don't want to stop goals, right? So why are we trying to stop goals going in? That's what football is all about. As long as we're all okay knowing that in certain circumstances that it will get called and it won't get called in others, then that's just what it is. But the rule needs to change.
Yeah.
But it leaves room for interpretation where it could go either way, depending on who's refereeing the game. And quite frankly, where you are. Man City got a home cooking. I've said that before. You know, they just got a home cooking.
I agree with you on that.
I think Terry's playing 3D chess here. That's what I think.
I'm
think if this was Man United against another team, you would admit that it was an offside decision. But because, of course, it's against City, it gives Arsenal the advantage to the league title. Your new team that you support. It's all working out for you.
I like that. It's a good theory. It's just I'm more about if you don't like the rule, have a go at the rule. But there was an example. Some people have told me this is a bad example, but I'm going to explain why it's a good one. In the build-up to Man United's, the build-up to Everton's equaliser against Man United in the FA Cup the other day, as this ball's headed towards Connor Cody, who eventually scores the goal, he's in an offside position. Malacia is just down on the left-hand side of the picture, and he's actually higher up the pitch than everybody else. He was offside. Varane, split second later, stops the ball. As you can see, Connor Cody is opening his body up to control that ball that was headed into him, and Varane clears it. It's not offside because Connor Cody hasn't touched the ball. But he's interfering with play because Varane has to stop the ball from coming to him, because if you go back to the original picture, Varane doesn't know if he's on or offside. But this same law within the offside rule means because Varane's now tried to play it, he is onside. This is a different anomaly within the same rule. This one is the other way around, where Akanji, as an example, doesn't need to stop running. He assumes Rashford's going to be flagged offside, so he stops running and Bruno comes through. If you're going to go back to the old rule, which everyone's been asking for since Rashford's goal, that Everton goal doesn't stand. If this weekend Arsenal are playing Man United and the ball's crossed into the box and Varane clears it, but the clearance isn't very good and it falls to Odegaard on the edge of the box and he buries it in the top corner, but then you go back on VAR and you had a fullback, tiny shoelaces, when the original cross was played in by the corner flag, who had no involvement in play, the goal will be disallowed for offside. They brought this rule in to stop, to actually allow more goals in football to take place, especially from the second and the third phase of play. I agree that it's a bad rule when these little anomalies happen. But what happened there with Varane, that happens every week. The amount of times your defender will clear a ball from an offside player getting it, if they pick up and recycle it quickly, they can score. But for me, that's every bit as offside as Rashford's, because you're still making players, you're making the defender play you onside because he isn't 100% sure if you are or are not. But if Varane lets that ball fall through and Cody gets it and scores and he's actually onside, Varane looks like a dickhead. And that's for me what Akanji looks like. He's the idiot here. Why'd you stop running? You know, that's
can't run through the player though.
But you can try, but you're not listening, Gal. If he keeps running full speed and tries to run around him and Rashford stops him, that's 100% offside under this rule. But he didn't impede the player. The player slows his run down.
The sure fact that he's there and he looks like he's approaching the ball, he's impeding with him.
But then, okay, but then again, that's not the law. Looking like
then
you might.
Law is stupid.
So watch this week. Yeah, but I get the law, but this is what I'm trying to explain to people. If we're talking about the law, was it implied, right? You'll see this in the next Arsenal game you'll play. There'll be a ball played to one of your strikers. He's offside. Your striker will be running towards the ball. The linesman only puts his flag up when he touches it. Because until but if say this weekend against United, and Nketiah's offside, he sprints towards the ball and it stops half a millimeter away, the flag will stay down. If Odegaard then runs from onside and gets it, he'll be onside. That's just I don't know. For me, listen, I totally get what people are saying. I think the rule is bad in these circumstances, but I don't think United were given a favor in this. It's just the rules. This comment here from Marcy says, Terry Saylor, Sanchez scored a similar goal against Chelsea in the FA Cup final when Giroud is in an offside position, faked a shot, Sanchez went to score. And again, that's true. I mean, literally, that's a massive example of that situation. Offside shouldn't be subjective.
Well, one thing people are doing now that because that rule is in play, we saw it a lot with Arsenal versus Liverpool, is that teams are just placing offside players, all over the place to confuse defenders. Klopp did that. I mean, Darwin Nunez was offside so much during our game, and then he would confuse our defenders, not really play the game, not really play the ball, and then it would drop in and somebody else would run through, but he was onside. Like, it's a tactic that can be used. It is what it is. It's just a rule. Like, it's one of those where we have so many of these in football. Like, obviously it's Manchester United, so all of us are going to be like, of course it's offside, but it's really just the rule and the way that the rule is written. Common sense would say that Rashford is interfering, but the way the rule is written, he's not.
Yeah, I mean, this says it here. Does Rashford not interfere with Edison, anticipating him to shoot? Yeah, but again, there's no rule that says if the goalie thinks you're going to shoot and you don't, you're interfering with play. Like, that's the goalie's decision. I get why you could interpret that as interfering with play, but
that's because that's what I said when I first started. For me, that's what I would have seen as the biggest impediment. Or like Edison didn't know that Rashford wasn't going to. It looked like Rashford was going to take the shot, so he kind of put Edison off. And then obviously Bruno came in. It was smart play, and obviously Bruno was miles on side. But for me, the goalkeeper thought Rashford was going to shoot a few times, so he didn't see that Bruno was coming, and then it's a goal.
Absolutely. Andrew here says, on Terry's point, if Akanji stops running as he thought Rashford was offside, wouldn't that be interfering with play? No, because it's only interfering if Rashford physically stops him seeing or physically stops him running. If you just assume Rashford's offside, that's not Rashford stopping you. That's your own decision. I'm going to sound a bit like an old man here. It's about you taking accountability for your own actions and not palming them off onto other people. That's what it actually comes down to. Akanji made the mistake, not the linesman. This here from Andrew says, United easily could be 6 points lower on the table, stole the Martinelli goal, and they stole 3 this weekend. That's not on United. That's on the referees. Maybe. But listen, I remember a couple of seasons ago against Sheffield United, they fouled our goalie and they scored from it. I didn't see anybody caring about that. So yeah, I'm also going to be shameless and say I don't care, aka Dave from Top Boy.